In the future where justice runs on code, you don't get a trial, you get a countdown. Mercy drops into the near future Los Angeles where an AI judge decides guilt in real time. And if you can't prove you're innocent fast enough, you're done. The story follows homicide detective Chris Pratt, a guy who believed in the system right up until he's strapped into the chair and accused of killing his wife. Across the screen sits Judge Maddox, Rebecca Ferguson, the cold, calculating face of the Mercy program, and she's not interested in feelings, only probability. With the clock ticking and the evidence stacking against him, Chris has to dig through his own life, his own relationships, and his own blind spots to find the one thread that proves he's been set up. All while the fair system he helped build keeps threatening to tighten the noose. Directed by Timur Bekmambetov, Mercy plays like a high-tech panic attack, part thriller, part moral gut check, and part what if the judge literally can't care. Mercy is basically asking one question. If the algorithm decides your fate, who do you appeal to when it gets it wrong?
Welcome to the Burnt or Buttered podcast. I'm Toast.
And I'm Stetson.
And we're talking about
Mercy. And have mercy on every person who's seen this movie.
God rest their souls.
Not to give away our ratings.
You know, it's funny. I did what I don't usually like to do with this movie, where I actually saw people reacting to it before seeing the movie.
Yeah.
So it set my expectations extremely low. A lot of people hate this movie.
I'll be honest, like as I was watching it, I was like, why does this not live on at Netflix?
Or Amazon.
Yeah, why was
where
this?
It came from.
Why was this just not released to streaming? Like, why does this have an IMAX release?
Oh, I have got some stuff for you. Yeah, that's a very valid, great question. Why does this have an IMAX release? Why does this have a 3D IMAX release, right? The answer to that question comes from Timur Bekmambetov. The director, he doesn't call it a 3D movie because 3D is like Avatar, right? Like you're seeing everything in 3D. No. This is AR because now we're just talking about acronyms, right? Mm-hmm. AI, AR. This is augmented reality. Mm-hmm. He wanted the people to feel the same way that Chris Pratt feels strapped into that chair. That's why there's the countdown. That's why all those things that are flying past him. Mm-hmm. If you went to the IMAX 3D, you would see, potentially you might feel those things. Probably the realistic answer is that they did it for a higher ticket sale.
I could see it where if you were trying to sell like a 3D experience at like a theme park or something like that, you know, those like 3D chairs that you sit in, I could see it. I could see the vision there. As I was watching it, I was noticing stuff like that where we're supposed to be seeing this through Chris Raven's eyes.
Yeah.
But
did it work?
It's like it works when you're in a 15-minute ride.
Yeah. Flying through California, whatever that one's called. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, we love it. It's great.
It's great. Awesome experience.
Honestly, 15 minutes probably too long, maybe 5.
High stakes. You're seeing a lot of stuff. You gotta got a
smells
countdown
coming at you.
When the countdown started, I was like, that is actually a real countdown. Like we have that much longer in this movie.
Yeah. And I was honestly pretty pleased with the countdown. I was like, sweet, this tells me exactly how much time is left in this movie. I was wrong because it goes on after that.
Obviously.
Yeah. I thought, he sits in the chair and then
it was cool to see the countdown and realizing that it was in real time. And because there's certain conversations that happen in movies where you're just like, in real life, this conversation would take 15 minutes and it's only been 2 minutes in the countdown.
It's 15 minutes of screen time, but it's only 2 minutes have passed.
Yeah, exactly. And so these conversations that were happening, like, dude, you're wasting so much time. But in reality, he only wasted a couple minutes. And you're just like, oh, wow, all that happened in just a couple minutes. And so maybe they did slow that countdown a little bit. I don't know. It seemed like it was right dead on with like real time.
I'll start my stopwatch next time I rewatch it. I'm never going to rewatch it.
But yeah, I thought about that a few times when they were having these conversations and he's like exploring different lines of thought. And we're just like, dude, like get back on track.
Seriously.
And, but then I looked at the countdown, like, oh, it's only been 5 minutes. And I was like, well, I guess like that's not 5 minutes wasted. He's like processing, feelings and thoughts and like, really trying to analyze, what's happening. He
did waste like 30 minutes before even getting started on the investigation though.
And I mean, what's crazy about that system is there's literally only one type of human being that could probably solve their, prove their innocence in an hour and a half, and it's a detective. It's like a normal human is not going to like think about doing all these things and have access to the whole police department and everything else to like.
Right. Because any other defendant in this trial, you call up the police officer who's investigating, they're not going to help you, dude. Yeah. They already think you're guilty. Mm-hmm. The only reason that she helped him or any of them helped him was because the one guy knew that he wasn't guilty. Mm-hmm. And he needed to keep it going so that, eventually he could reveal his master plan. Mm-hmm. And then his partner also was like, well, we need to make sure that this thing works, mm-hmm. because the most important thing is the mercy program.
Yeah. That character, I could not take it. And the freaking flying motorcycle that was slow as all hell. Dude, she arrives like 30 minutes past everyone else. She's like, I'm on my way. Freaking takes off on the quadcopter. Yeah. And gets there somehow way later. It's like, what are you stopping at? The floating McDonald's on the way? Or like, there's no traffic. There's no, you're flying line of sight. Like you can just go straight there. No turns, no stoplights, nothing. And somehow it still takes you that long to get there.
Hey, I mean, LA traffic in the skies.
Oh man, his partner just drove me bananas. The whole movie. I mean, even to the very end, the look that she gives him, you're just like, oh, come on.
Yeah. I guess let's talk about the performances. I didn't really see anything that like stuck out to me.
Yeah, Chris Pratt is on a roll of stinkers, man.
What are you thinking? Mario Bros?
No, that was a good one.
Yeah.
The last one he did on Netflix, it was called like Electric something.
Oh yeah, with 11. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't great. It
was bad. Straight
to streaming.
I mean, it was made for streaming,
right? It is made for that second screen thing, like where you can be watching TikToks and still know what's going on in the movie.
Yeah, that's what was frustrating about this one is, have you watched The Rip yet?
I haven't yet.
Netflix. No. The Rip is pretty frustrating. Like you have these amazing filmmakers making just mediocre movies. Mm-hmm. And, when they talk to Joe Rogan about having to reestablish the plot over and over again, the dialogue's like dumbed down.
Yeah.
I just could not help but feel like this movie was the exact same way. It was just like over and over and over. We're just explaining this and the dialogue just seems soap opera-ish and everything's telegraphed. The villains look like villains. It's just, Like everything about it just felt like it was designed for someone that wasn't paying attention to figure out everything.
And I just want to pause for a brief moment and address your comments about this movie prior to me seeing it. His exact words were, "It's not that bad." So I went in with higher expectations than I would have gone in otherwise.
I mean, like, what's hard is I went directly from Bone Temple to Mercy, and it's just embarrassing, you know, the contrast between the two of having rich characters and rich story and dynamic cinematography and the color grade and like everything about the movie kind of worked together to make an artful piece. And then you have this movie, which just seems like a ripoff of most every AI movie ever. That doesn't really have any meat to it. You know, like you're supposed to feel a lot for this character, Chris Pratt, and it's an interesting scenario, but at the same time, it's not that crazy. Like him discovering who set him up is kind of like a natural progression of what any person would do. There's no real... I mean, it's kind of just like straight up boring detective work.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there were a lot of things, a lot of red herrings, you know, meant to throw you off, but they all were resolved so quickly that they never really threw you off.
Yeah, I mean, I saw through it. So, I mean, it was just so easy.
Yeah.
Literally, like, they put up, oh, this is every person that your wife's talks to or whatever. And it's like, that guy.
Oh, that's the guy that you talk to multiple times throughout this movie. You never get introduced to any of the other like characters aside from the other guy. You know, like it's just the characters that are under suspicion. You know, you never have any meaningful character development from anybody else in this movie.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. It just felt boring to me. Like, and it wasn't even that boring. You know, that's the hard part about this movie is it's watchable, you know, and it's totally watchable. If this was released on Netflix, I would have a completely different opinion about it.
Sure, because you wouldn't be paying attention.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be sitting there analyzing the entire movie. So, I mean, the Netflix thing like works for Netflix in that vein, but yeah, releasing this into the theater just seems like a disrespectful thing.
Well, because you couldn't have had the augmented reality if you just did it at home.
The only way you're having augmented reality, I feel like, is if everyone is wearing freaking AR goggles.
Right.
You know, and you're like, yeah, you're transported, you can look and you're like, you're sitting in the chair that you know, Chris Raven's sitting in. But then you can't have any shots of Chris Raven.
Yeah,
you know, if it's
actually
just
you.
Yeah. You're supposed
First
to be
person.
him, you know? So is that supposed to be like an out of body experience? You like come out of the chair and
at
look
that
at
point, we
yourself?
might as well just make this a video game, you know?
Yeah.
A VR video game.
Which it could be.
I guess to understand Timur Bekmambetov, we should talk about some of his previous movies that I'm sure that you know about. Chris Pratt is actually returning to Timur's direction for the first time since Wanted, where that you can shoot a gun and have the bullet like curve.
Dude, Wanted wasn't that bad.
No, that was one of his bigger successes, I think.
Chris Pratt was in Wanted?
Yeah. It was one of his earlier movies. He plays
with,
kind of a douchebag character.
That's like
Angelina
Jolie, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's Brad Pitt in that too? I can't remember.
Brad Pitt's not in it. It's James McAvoy.
Oh, okay.
He's the main character. You may also know him from such titles as Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter.
I never saw it.
Also not terrible for what the concept is, right? Like it's a fun action flick, right?
Yeah.
And then he is most well known for Night Watch and Day Watch, which are two vampire movies as well, or vampire series. And then also Ben-Hur 2016 that I don't think hardly anybody saw.
Ben-Hur. I remember hearing about it, but as you were talking about these movies, one thing I thought about was it feels like this movie was made in the 90s.
Yeah, in the 90s, this would have gone crazy, I bet.
Yeah. Like, because it's based in like 2026 and 2027. You're like, dude, those are the years.
Those were the dates they put on that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. First rule of science fiction is you never put it that close in the future. Like, you've got to push it a little bit.
Yeah, it's 2026, 2027.
That's crazy.
And I was like, okay, that works if, we're in the 90s.
Yeah.
And we have no idea what 2026 and 2027 looks like, but we're in them. We're living them right now.
That's this year, buddy.
But I feel like it's supposed to be an AI scare where it's just like, oh, AI is just being incorporated in everything. And like in a year from now, we're going to have an AI judge.
But at the same time, the messaging of this film isn't that AI is bad, right? At the beginning, he's like, oh man, you screwed up. I'm not the right guy for this.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end, he's like, everybody screws up, even AI. Yeah, and that's the message is like, hey guys, AI is going to have a hard time, being right all the time. And so it'll lie to you occasionally and give you misinformation that could potentially kill people. Give it the benefit of the doubt though. It's trying.
Just give it a little grace.
Yeah. That's the message of this film.
Yeah, it's so stupid. But I mean, there is countries that are electing like AI ministers, so there's...
Well, this country is integrating AI into the Department of Defense, so this stuff is not that far off necessarily, but at the same time, this movie is not wanting to have a real conversation about the dangers of AI.
Yeah.
It's here's a straw man here's a straw man argument where we're like, oh, AI could be dangerous. But then we're going to spend the next 90 minutes showing you, it could be, and maybe we'll kill the wrong people sometimes, but AI evolves, and then it's going to be even better.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to sacrifice people along the way.
Yeah. And I don't know, the Mercy program just seemed crazy. Like there's been 18 people that were on the Mercy, all of them executed. And
because 90 minutes within hours of a murder is not enough time to conduct an investigation.
Yeah. That was my exact thought. You're just like, okay, literally they haven't even cleaned the crime scene and we're about to execute this person for the murder, for what we think they did.
Yeah.
Which is insane. But also, I guess it could be like a huge deterrent where it's just like, oh, you kill someone, literally in 90 minutes after you kill them, we will kill you.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big deterrent.
Yeah.
But also, if you're sending people who didn't kill people to this program and all of them are getting killed, then it's probably not a good program.
Yeah. I remember this small film that, this is reminiscent of called Minority Report.
Oh, you mean the huge blockbuster starring the biggest star in the world, Tom Cruise?
Yeah. Which I feel like we explored this idea, which that is from early 2000s, late 90s or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's way ahead of this film.
It holds up. I watched it like 3 months ago.
I know. It's really, really good. And yeah, they didn't they're way into the future. I don't know what it is, but what's crazy about that film compared to this one is that film seems even more realistic. Like if you just replace the freaking autistic, whatever people that can see the future with AI. And you're just like, okay, we have Minority Report now.
Basically.
Which makes sense because the next logical step for the Mercy program is AI predicting people
pre-crime.
People that are going to commit crime.
Mm-hmm.
And then having a trial for crimes that they never committed.
Right. They just had an idea one time. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything that they do in their life is leading to a crime.
Which that's an interesting thought that is explored a little bit in this movie, but they don't really they don't really talk about it that much, is the fact that everything we do is recorded, including things that I didn't think people would be recording, like the daughter is recording when her mom and dad have a disagreement, you know? Like I get it when he's like throwing stuff.
Well, I don't even think that she was recording. She was just on a phone call. And so the camera is still active. She's not actively recording, but the camera still can see.
Yeah.
So that's the idea, is that anytime there's a phone, like you can access that camera. And with the signing up for the Mercy program, you're allowing access to your camera 24/7.
Yeah.
No matter what. So like no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing.
The only way out of that is to buy like a jailbroken phone, apparently, that just shows code on the front. Like it does.
They should have just had like little Nikeas, just
not futuristic enough.
Yeah, not smart enough. Freaking the Mercy program can still hack it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was so many moments where I was just frustrated with either dialogue, with the sequence of events, with the easy outs of every single which way. Performances were not great.
Yeah. So when I was doing a little bit of research on this movie, one of the things that Chris Pratt mentioned was that while filming, they would do 15 to 20 minute takes. Like they would film a third of the movie in one go, basically. And they felt like that kind of gave it more of an action-y feel to it, because they also filmed most of the action outside of the courtroom. They filmed that stuff before, so that when they were showing Chris Pratt the things that are happening in his life, he could actually react to it in real time. Another thing that he did that I'm not sure it was a good idea, but it did help with him to look like confused or dazed or whatever, was he had 2 earpieces in the whole time. And in one, he had a friend who was purposely trying to distract him. So they would put on like music or like podcasts or something, something to distract him. And then the other side was either, actors that he's working with, or the director was giving him stuff to do. And so I just feel like he was distracted the whole time, which is partially what his character is supposed to be going through. But I don't know. I thought that was an interesting way to approach, rather than just being like, wait, what's going on? He was actively distracting himself.
Yeah.
I like the commitment.
There was moments, for sure. I think everybody else just distracted from any type of good that was done in this movie.
Yeah.
Like that's the sad part of it, I guess, is it felt so elementary, in different ways. And this is like from a person that doesn't act, like whatever. It's freaking hard, I'm sure. But yeah, it just was so distracting. It just didn't feel like it should be on the big screen. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It felt like it deserved a home as a release on some streaming platform. And even then, that's a weird thing to say, because there's movies that go straight to streaming that are freaking amazing. You think of Frankenstein, that only had a limited release in the theaters, or the Glass
Knives
Onion,
Out,
Knives
yeah.
Out, that only had a limited release. It was like 1 or 2 days in theaters.
Yeah.
Freaking amazing films.
Mm-hmm.
But, and maybe I'm a little bit more sensitive because of the interviews that Ben Affleck and Matt Damon did on Joe Rogan talking about the
second screen ideology or whatever.
Yeah, on Netflix, and watching The Rip and just being really, really disappointed in The Rip. And then seeing this and just like, this is how I felt when I was watching The Rip. When I was really excited for The Rip, because you're just like, oh,
yeah,
you got some freaking giants coming in, about to knock a movie out of the park. And we got Frankenstein, and then we have The Rip, and it's just like, The Rip seems like it was a cash grab in a lot of ways. We're just like,
oh, that's actually the point of the plot of the movie.
We're just like, how can we just make a movie that doesn't really have a super big point to it as fast as we possibly can to get it onto streaming and make some money? Yeah.
And it doesn't give you a lot of confidence in, I don't know. It feels like it takes away from the great performances that those people have done before.
Yeah.
Right. And it also doesn't give you a lot of confidence in their next big project. Like Matt Damon is coming out with The Odyssey, right? Mm-hmm. So seeing him with this poorly produced Rip kind of makes you think, did he lose it?
I don't think he lost. I just think that I just don't think there was no soul into it. You know, it was just like, oh, let's throw together a script and let's make a movie.
And that's a good point too, is it's not, I mean, a lot of people that they are the face of the movie, right? Like in The Rip, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, they're the face of the movie. Mm-hmm. So a lot of criticism does come back to them because they're the main face of the movie. They're out there doing the marketing for it. Mm-hmm. So criticism comes back to them really easily. We need to remember that there's also a writer, there's a director, there's a script, there are all these people involved in it. Mm. There's producers who also have a say in things. Mm. And so it can be tough. Like, I don't know, working on a group project, right? Like you can put everything you want into it and then somebody else puts nothing or takes it in a different direction that leads it down a bad road, right?
Yeah. And with The Rip, I think the performances were way better than Mercy for sure. But yeah, I just think that it just felt cheap, like in the way that, there's no consequences to this movie. You have Frankenstein or you have like the Bone Temple. It just felt like something goes into it, to make that film. And
yeah.
I don't know. And maybe I'm just becoming a really jaded critic.
I do wonder about that sometimes, since we see so many movies, and seeing a movie now almost feels like work, rather than just like if I'm going to see it in the theater, it feels a little bit like work because now I know I've got to pay attention. I've got to have things that I notice during the movie. Whereas if I'm just watching it at home, I don't put that kind of effort into watching a movie.
Yeah.
And so maybe this would be something that if I was watching it at home, like you mentioned, I wouldn't feel the same way.
Yeah. I think this goes to streaming as quickly as possible, and it does pretty well. Because I think the average person is going to enjoy watching this at home. Like I think that the concept is good enough. When you're half watching it, half not watching it, you can follow along. The characters telegraph exactly what you need to hear when you need to hear it.
Yeah.
And the idea is enough to make you want to watch it. Like you see a 30-second clip on Netflix, and you're like, oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you mentioned that other movie that Chris Pratt had done on Netflix, Electric State,
something. Yeah.
Or whatever. And I watched that at home and didn't pay that much attention to it. And I was like, whatever, it's not that great, but it's something on in the background, so it's fine.
Mhm.
You know? Yeah, it's weird in a time where a lot of people are upset with streaming services like Netflix. Netflix is potentially acquiring Paramount, and so a lot of people are worried that theatrical releases will go away. It's interesting to wish that a movie had gone directly to streaming.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we've had some pretty amazing movies come out this last year. Some really original, well directed, well performed movies that, yeah, what's good about it is that maybe if they would have recognized that this is a streaming movie before getting it into the theaters and then put it into streaming, then it would have done a lot better. But yeah, I just feel like directors should probably analyze that a little bit more. Like, where
And
are we?
studios?
Yeah,
and-
like where are we going to get the most meat out of this? Like, let's make this very intentional instead of just a movie goes to the theaters. Let's think about where it wants to go, and the same vice versa for the Netflix and Amazon movies. I mean, this is an Amazon movie, right?
Mhm.
Where Frankenstein and the Knives Out should have been in theaters for a whole runtime.
Oh yeah.
You know, like it should have lived in the theaters for a few months and allowed people to experience it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, because those are movies that should be seen on a big screen.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like Hamnet or Bone Temple or like, you know, these movies that if I watched them at home, there's no way I would have had the same experience than I had in the theater.
Right.
Where this movie, if I would have watched it at home, I would have had a better experience.
Yeah.
You know, and that's weird to say. You know, I don't feel like that most of the time with movies that we see in theaters.
Even when they're not that great, you know. But yeah, this had a $60 million budget. And as of this morning, when I checked today, January 9th, 29th, it has made $25 million. So, yeah, this is something that I think studios, like you said, directors, everybody involved with the movie should be thinking about. Where is this going to have the best impact? And I agree. This one should have been streaming.
Yeah. I feel like at least having like a few focus groups watch it and see it. And maybe like some people saw it in IMAX and was like, oh, that was revolutionary. Like I was in there. I felt it. I felt every scene. And they're like, oh, we have to release this in IMAX. And so maybe that like kind of swayed them that way. And I'm sure the director like really wanted that to work. And so he's like, I have to release this in IMAX and make that like a special thing. Maybe, you know, like Frankenstein was in theaters for a few weeks, maybe. Knives Out was literally like a weekend. So it was like, hey, if you really want to experience this movie, go and see it in IMAX. Only put it in IMAX. You know, people are going to go and pay the extra, you know, ticket price to do it. They know that there's a little bit of a scarcity in that where you can only see it, you know, this weekend or whatever, and only in IMAX. And then it's going to be released on Netflix. I feel like that would do really well.
Well, and also like if Timmer wanted it to be an augmented reality experience, right? Make that in the marketing. Like let people know this is something you'll want to see in 3D or this is something you want to see in 4DX or whatever, you know. If that's your intention, put that in the marketing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, allow people to understand that there's going to be more to the movie, because when I saw that this was an IMAX, I'm like, of all movies, why is this movie in IMAX? Like, it just doesn't seem necessary.
Right.
You know, seeing it, I could see value being there, and especially like with the 4DX or whatever, whether your chairs move or whatnot.
Yeah.
I could see that because the whole plot is being in a chair.
Right.
But there's just too much to miss. Too many misses.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Do you have anything else to say, or should we go for a rating?
Yeah, let's rate it.
Take it away.
All right. I am going to give Mercy a 1.4.
Higher than I expected.
A movie has to be really bad to be like 1 or under for me. Like where I can't see anything redeemable about the movie at all.
Yeah.
1.4 is as close as I probably can get to being like not redeemable. But like I said, if this was streaming and I saw this at 12 o'clock at night after working all night long or whatever, it probably would have been okay.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think most movies start at a 2.5 and then they can go either way for me. It's just average. And this movie pretty quickly dropped, which is funny because his percentage kept going up of his guilt. And every time that his percentage went up, my enjoyment of the movie went down. Yeah, I think a 1.5 is probably reasonable for this one. In doing the research, I think that's probably the only reason it's getting that extra 0.5. It's not the movie that I've hated watching the most recently, but it's up there. And like you said, if I was watching it at home, probably fine. Like I wouldn't care that much. Although I've been watching the Bond series since they just put it on Netflix recently, and I'm realizing that they killed real sharks in Thunderball.
Did they really?
They did. I had to look it up. I'm like, that looks like they really shot that shark, and they did. Yeah, they really did it.
Jeez.
And anyways, maybe I'm becoming a snob at home too.
Save the sharks, people.
But yeah, it's disappointing to see like Rebecca Ferguson, who I've enjoyed in so many things. I think that she's extremely talented, and they just didn't use her. Mm-hmm. You know, they didn't. You're gonna take one of the best actors from the Mission Impossible franchise, and you're gonna say, don't emote.
But she did a good job not emoting.
She did, yeah. I mean, 15, 20-minute takes, straight face the whole time. Anyways, that's my take on this movie. Watch it if you feel like it.
Yeah. Watch it at home if you do watch it. And if you're watching this episode, it's probably because you didn't like it. So comment about how much you didn't like it.
And if you've made it this far, may God have mercy on your soul.
All right. We'll see you in the next one.